Hey guys, Steve here with the strategy session for Tuesday, August 19th, 2014. Hope you guys had a great day today. I wasn't actually able to be on Twitter as much as I wanted to, but more of the same as what we had yesterday. Some nice continuation higher on the indices, really testing those previous breakdown or previous highs, I should say. High on the S&P, closing high was 1982 about, and today we came up right to 1980. So this is kind of what we were talking about in the stock market outlook video and the weekend update, about potentially coming up and testing these highs. Again, kind of what I was anticipating was not necessarily testing them as quickly as we were. I was looking more for a little bit of sideways action, and then another breakout. I think right now, if we were to break out from over this 1980 at this point, I think it would be a failed breakout just because of where we've come from. But again, the market is strong, and we'll see what happens. I think the best case scenario is right now maybe we can consolidate in a nice tight range for the rest of the week and then eventually break higher next week. I think that would be the best case scenario. But again, let's see how that plays out. The Nasdaq, again, stronger of the three, continues that breakout higher right off the 50-day. It's a great looking setup. If you guys took it, congratulations. It's a great start. And the last one is the Dow, which up another 95 points today. So at one point, I think on Friday, this looked like it was potentially hitting the bottom of the 50-day and going to roll over to put in a lower high. That can still happen, but at this point, I don't see why we don't test 17,050, another 70 points higher from here. Just seems inevitable to me. And then, like I said, maybe we can get some sideways action. But if you look back at the weekly chart, we are getting essentially a consolidation box, right off of the, it did break the trend line, but we're sitting right at these highs, and now we're consolidating right above them. So, as far as the market goes, I still think we do push higher. Whether that's tomorrow or next week, I'm not sure. But, keep trading each stock on its individual merit, and let it tell you when it's ready to change trend. So we're gonna go through these real quick. Apple finally broke through the $100 mark. All right, we've been talking about this, saying that was obviously the next level. So now this definitely confirms this 94.29 level as our new stop. All right, so we're gonna take and actually change this to the red, and change our 93.09 to gray. All right, so there's our new stop in Apple, 94.29. Still not really locking in any profits, but definitely a valid new stop level. ADM continues, it's still moving sideways. All right, a little bit lower than yesterday, but we're still, kind of just maybe putting in a small consolidation. Again, this is something that we talked about. I don't know what this is. That if we can move sideways here and allow this 50-day moving average and the trend line to come, to catch up, I think that would be the most ideal situation. But for right now, 46.36 is our stop level. We're gonna take this out. Actually, that was our breakout level. All right, so 46.36 is our stop. Again, good valid placement. Right now we're under the trend line, under 50-day moving average. So that's a great spot. American Tower, continues to move higher. Today it had a little bit of a pullback, but really still right at the top of its range that it's been in. Still almost at new highs. So for American Tower, I think right now this 92 level is a great spot for a stop. I think if we can get maybe some sideways action, we'll eventually move it to 94. APD up a little bit today. Again, you could see this rounded bottom coming in, and I still think that, eventually we test this 136, and this becomes our new stop level at 130.73. All right, I think that becomes our level, in my opinion. Again, that's something that we have to wait a little bit. We have to wait for that breakout, allow some more time to pass, but 130, 105 looks like the next stop level for us. Disney, again, strong day, closed up a little bit, but the action from his breakout is ideal. All right, valid stop level here. We're moving off these trend lines very nicely. We're breaking out nicely. So again, stop is 85, below 50-day moving average, below trend line support, and below the previous lows. EQR, it broke out yesterday. Today came back, tested that breakout, and closed higher. Not much, but it did close higher. Our stop level was adjusted to 64.08. All right, because right now that 50-day moving average is sitting at where's the 50-day? Right here. Let's see what the 50-day is at. 50-day 63.97. Okay, so we're pretty much right there. So again, a little more continuation higher. That 50-day will catch up. But this is a nice trend. I mean, look at the 50-day. It's really been containing the stock, except for right in here, this little breakdown. But other than that, so, if we start to break the 50-day, then obviously the trend might be changing for us. Expedia up 0.35%. Tried to break out yesterday. Tried to hold it today. Again, would I like to not see these tails? Absolutely. But I think at this point, as we talked about, I think we do need some sideways movement and allow this trend line and this 50-day moving average to basically catch up. Ideal situation would be 50-day becomes $82 and we're able to set our stop right there. Fidelity, this one was at one point it was definitely higher, as you can see by this tail. Was considering it was actually it did hit a new high today, 52-week and potentially all-time high. But it couldn't hold it, and we ended up closing back below this 57 level. Let's see what happens tomorrow. But obviously with that move, our stop is validated at 54.86. All right, and most recent low is 54.86, and that's where we were able to move our stop to. But if you look at it from a longer-term perspective, we're sitting pretty here. That could be your new trend line right through there. All right, here this low, and then these lows. So like I said, right now we're managing risk. Our risk is 54.86. We're out of it. So let's see. Maybe we move sideways. Maybe we come in, put another low, and then move higher. H&R Block. Really testing these highs at 33.50. Until we get a breakout from there. I think we have a little bit more sideways action, as you can see here on the weekly. We have earnings coming up. It looks like the first week in September, so we could have a little bit of a catalyst moving into earnings, and maybe this wants to go higher. But this was a little bit of a different entry for us that we entered on this breakout here of this lower consolidation. So we were expecting to hit some resistance here at 35 or 33.50, and now it's a matter of seeing how the stock reacts. Obviously, if we come back and we could move sideways here and come all the way back to this 32 to level and just chop around and put in another consolidation. That's one of the reasons that I am not raising stop yet. I want to see a breakout over this 33.50, and then I want to raise my stop to 31.92, 32 essentially. LUV, similar to Disney, real nice breakout right off the trend line. I mean, we've talked about it before, an ideal situation. All right, these consolidations lead ultimately to higher prices, consolidations, higher prices, consolidations. So that's kind of the pattern I'm expecting. All right, I'm looking for a little bit of more of a higher price, and then maybe some sideways movement, and allow these moving averages and trend lines to catch up. It's not that hard. I mean, expect the expected. I'm not looking. That's basically how it's acted, and that's what I'm expecting it to do. But again, on the weekly chart, this is a great trend, and we're sitting well above the trend line support as we were here, and as we were here. So obviously I would like to see a little bit of a higher movement, and then I'm expecting for some sideways consolidation to allow those trend lines and 50-day moving average to catch up. RSG, another one on a tear. Since our breakout, we had this breakout from this weekly consolidation. It put in this small daily consolidation here, and it broke out again. Stop still down here, 36.84. Next level that I can foresee would be this 37.92. But right now I'm not too. I don't feel like we need to really move our stop yet. Let it run. Let it redefine a new low if that's what's going to happen, and then we'll be able to set our stop there. If it comes down and tests 38.14 and then moves higher, this 50-day catches up. Then obviously 38.14 becomes our new stop level. Last one is Tesoro. Tesoro looks like we have a dividend coming up on the 27th. But again, we broke out from this consolidation on the weekly. We put a small daily consolidation in, and right now we're testing, all-time highs are 65, 75, and that's about where we're testing. We're going to hit some resistance in this area. For right now, again, stop still is at 57.43. Next stop level that I would perceive that we would have would be 58.97, and then eventually it could very well be 61.65. So that's kind of the way I mentally plan out where stop levels are going. But I also want to see, I definitely want to see some more either sideways movement from this to really establish the 61.65. And if that happens, then maybe we skip over this 59 level altogether and we move to 61.65 on a breakout over 64. So there's different ways that you can look at it. But for right now, you really have to let the price, the price is really what needs to dictate where your stop levels go, and you need to give it some time to work. The biggest thing with me and when I was trading originally was I was always trying to tighten up stops, and you saw I did it on Win, at which you'll see in a little bit on, I think it's Thursday. In the Anatomy of Trade, I'm going to go over the trade we had in Win, and you'll see that I tightened up stops way too quick. It made sense at the time, but looking back, you learn from your mistakes. And for right now, I just want to let the stocks run. We have the market at our back, Wind is at our back, and there's no sense in overmanaging or micromanaging these positions. Let them work until they don't work anymore. Two stocks that I pulled out of the watch list that were looking good. Broadcom being one of them. I would like to see a little bit more upward movement in Broadcom. If we can get another close over here around 39 or so, then I think we can enter a position in Broadcom. You notice that was one of the stocks that we called out from the weekend update. We can enter at 39 and put a stop here at 37 or 36.70. The other one was National Oil of Varco, another similar setup to H&R Block. We're not going to be entering a position on this, but if you were, this could be a starter position here, depending on how you're trading, with a stop under 80.72. And, if it continues and if it eventually breaks out over 86, you can add your other half or other third or however your plan is set up. But, this little consolidation right at the 50-day, even though it's not an all-time high breakout, I still think you can trade something like this, and because you're able to define your stop very well, and you're able to identify this consolidation as a support level. All right, so like I said, that's definitely a spot to look at. And also, if you look at the weekly chart, you can see right through here. All right. It was in a range for most of 2012, all of 2013, and now it's finally breaking out, came back, tested, and now it's moving higher. So I think that's definitely a valid position to enter. So, that's really it for tonight, guys. Again, I'd like to see a little bit more in Broadcom. I think that's a good-looking stock. We're breaking out over these highs. We're really consolidating there. Next high would be 39.33. So really, if we can get a move over that 39.30 level, I think that would be a great spot to enter a trade right now. I'm not looking to put a trade on with with just a minimal breakout, especially when the market's been so strong recently, because this could easily, close tomorrow at 38.30. So, we'll see how that plays out. But for everything else, stops and positions remain intact. I don't think we adjusted any stops today. And, like I said, if you haven't followed me already on Twitter, StockTwits, and Google+, please do so. You could also subscribe to the YouTube channel and subscribe to the nightly recap for future updates. And have a great rest of the night, and we'll see you tomorrow.